guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new dragon video. You guys, we're gonna get straight into it, but before we do, I can see that these videos are popular, which I'm so grateful. But please, 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 please subscribe to the channel if you like these videos and turn on notifications if you're already subscribed. And also I have a playlist where I put all the videos so you can watch from the playlist. Let me know if you end up saving the playlist because that's also super helpful for me. So yeah, just make sure that you're fully subscribed before we continue watching. Oh, well you guys watching and me narrating what's going on. Let's start off here at the Hermes boutique in Saint-Tropez in Paris, in France, in the south of France. We walked into this Hermes store expecting luxury, but instead we were met with icy glares and downright rudeness from SAs. Sorry, I'm just fixing something here. Okay. From SAs. Their evil attitude and zero smiles made it clear we weren't welcome. Rumor has it they even keep quota bags for themselves and sell them to locals who flipped them for double the price. Unlike at other big H locations where the staff actually sells Kelly bags to valued customers instead of keeping them for themselves. Don't waste your time. Go to Big C or Laura Piana instead. I'll never shop here again. Okay, so a few things. This location of the Ponytails like international boutique network is like routinely dragged. I've heard people say it's a really horrible shopping experience. I've heard people tell me directly it's a really horrible shopping experience. I've heard people say the store's really small. I think the problem with this store is that there are a lot of local customers who shop here, like people who have maybe a house, who are French and who have like a house in the south of France. So I think it's just like super hard to compete with someone who lives in the south of France, you know what I mean? And they're French and they probably are like making connections in this boutique and you're just passing by for a day or two. I don't know if it's realistic to expect a Kelly bag in this store, especially if you're not going to like show loyalty for it. The next one is the same boutique, the Saint-Tropez store. An unfortunate pretentious visit. She says the SA's name. It's a male SA. SA number one met me on Friday and was so warm. He advised me to visit on Monday morning before leaving, suggesting he might have something for me from my wish list. When I arrived, luggage in tow, I explained the situation warmly and reiterated my wish list. However, another SA, we'll call this SA number two, responded haughtily, telling me perhaps I should purchase from my home store instead. She then proceeded to assist other customers, foreign customers, but in buying a bag themselves. This was my first time visiting a big H boutique, and it will certainly be my last time in Saint-Tropez. Okay, here's the thing, right? And don't worry, this happened to me. SAs in the French big H stores will trick customers, particularly if they know that you don't live, if you don't live there and you're not French, you will be tricked. The SA number one tricked her. She obviously pre-spent for this item from her wish list, which is clearly a quota bag. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And then SA number two is like, boo, I didn't make any money, or I don't get to look at the store manager because you didn't like pre-spend with me, so I'm not going to churn a bag for you. This is how they trick you, and they can play games, and it's like hocus pocus. You've been tricked. I was tricked by the SA who I met at Severus. Oh, here's my card. Yes, we'll make an appointment. Contacted her. Never heard anything again. It was like absolute crickets. Okay. So I was also tricked. So I have been there when I have been tricked by SAs in France. Shout out to my French glamazons. Love you guys. You guys are fantastic and amazing. But the big H SAs will trick you. If you're not careful, you're going to get tricked. She should have known she's being tricked the moment the SA told her come back on Monday morning. Oh, honey, you have been tricked, honey. Okay, I'm not laughing at her. I feel for her. I have also been tricked. So you need to be careful. And it's a tough one because some of them are honest. So they might say, hey, come back tomorrow. I'll have something for you. And they generally will have a quota bag for you. But I think a lot of them can pull stunts like this. So basically, the SA took her money and ran off with her money and didn't churn a bag. Told her to come back another day, a day he knew he wasn't working because clearly he knew he wasn't coming in on Monday. That's how she got tricked. Yeah, it's very unfortunate, but this does happen in French boutiques. Like you can get tricked. I was also tricked. I'm not laughing at her. I have also been tricked as well. The next one is Big H Saint-Tropez again. We come to every summer to Saint-Tropez and to this store. The service used to be much nicer 10 years ago. The staff are intimidating and cold. They judge you from your clothes and evaluate if you're going to spend money. They jump on you the minute you walk through the door asking what you want. In this day and age, that's unrealistic. People can wear what they want and be anyone. It's disappointing. A house like Big H contributes to the bad reputation of French service. Okay, here's the thing. That is what the boutiques in the French, that's what boutiques in France are doing right now. The moment you walk through, again, this happened to me at the Cartier boutique on the Champs-Elysees, if you watch my Cartier shopping videos. I walk in immediately before breathing. I am asked, am I looking or do I want to buy something? I was like, I absolutely want to buy something. They're like, what line? Before I could even see an essay, the greeter asked me what line I wanted to buy something from, like Juste un Clou or the Love line. I was like, oh, Juste un Clou or the Love line, whatever. So it doesn't surprise me that they immediately were asking her like, what does she want to buy today? I think that they do that to make sure that you're not just like walking around taking pictures for social media and filming TikToks and stuff, because I think that they do get a lot of people who are just milling around. I've said this before, it is absolutely fine to browse, but browse in a department store. Department stores, they don't care. Like Galeries Lafayette, Le Bon Marché, you can mill around, take pictures, they literally don't give a toss. But these freestanding stores, they really are sensitive about people coming in, milling around and just browsing and not buying anything. I think that they're very sensitive about that. So I'm not surprised that immediately the first thing they ask you is, are you going to buy something? Because that is really kind of this thing that is happening in a lot of French stores. The next location is Dior on the Avenue Montaigne in Paris, the flagship. She calls them names, so I can't say the names that she calls them. I go to request a wallet and the man looks the other way and shows no attention to me. I ask if he has a wallet, I show him a picture, he says he doesn't. I've always said this, don't show them pictures. I would only show an essay a picture if I'm buying something super expensive. Like if it's like, I think like, let's say you walk into Louis Vuitton, I think you can show an essay a Capucine because they will feel very energized to find that bag for you. But a wallet, like an SLG picture, they're not going to try and help. He says he doesn't. I walk to see if they actually have it, and they do have it on display. I tell the lady I want to buy it. She starts laughing. Since I'm from the US, I ask her if I can use my driver's license for the VAT refund. She starts laughing again and says no. I ask if she would give me her business card and I can come back and buy my passport. She says no again. Horrible stuck-up people working there. How do you expect customers to buy from you and you act better than them? I could have bought it and told her to hold it, but after her rude behavior, I decided to go order it online. I don't know how much this was, but I'm willing to bet money it's because it was an SLG. Again, you walk into Dior and you're like, I want to buy, and just now this is from the men's side. You're like, I want to buy a men's jacket, a men's bag, something really pricey from the men's collection. They're not going to laugh at you, but because it's like a small location, and really you really shouldn't be laughing at people. The only thing that I would say here is, why would you use your driver's license for the VAT refund? I don't know how many people don't know this. If you're new to my channel and you just stumbled across this video, maybe you're going to be heading to Paris or Europe soon, you've never shopped there. Let's just be clear, every single person in the world, it doesn't matter you're from America, you're from Tanzania, you must have your passport to get the VAT refund. Say it after me right now. In all of the EU states, it is non-negotiable. You must have your passport. You could also be tricked. They could be like, oh yeah, your passport doesn't matter, you can still get the refund, so that they can get your money. This has happened to someone at a Louis Vuitton boutique in a previous like dragging video. Someone was like tricked by the SA. They didn't have their passport. They had like another form of ID. The SA was like, yeah, it's fine, knowing that when she gets to the airport, it's not going to work. So yeah, this one is unfortunate, but at the same time, why are you bringing your driver's license there? Why? So you wouldn't have gotten the refund anyway because you had your driver's license. The next one is the Dior boutique in Amsterdam on the PC Hoefstraat Avenue. Upon returning to the hotel, I noticed that the global blue form issued by the SA didn't match my passport's name. I revisited the boutique 2 days later to rectify it. However, after 2 months, I still haven't received my VAT refund due to discrepancies between the dates on Global Blue and the invoice. Despite contacting Dior, the issue remains unsolved. As a customer of an international brand who's invested significantly in your bags, I'm disappointed to bear the responsibilities for the SA's mistake. The ordeal of reaching out to your team has been stressful. I earnestly hope someone from management will address the matter and reach out. Yeah, this is really unfortunate, and you really, really, really need to check to make sure that they don't misspell your name. My name is long. My first name, my middle name, my surname, my married name, honey, like I've got names with a Z, okay? So like I am very careful about the way to making sure that when I go shopping abroad, that in Europe, that the refund and the name written in my passport are exactly the same. And even at Cartier, I remember she showed me when she was like printing out receipts, she like shows me my name there, and I'm like, yep, that's me, we're Gucci, you know, we're good to go. So I think you have to be very, very, very careful. Even if you have an easy to spell name, just make sure that you're very like rigid about it. This is the same location, the Dior in Amsterdam on PC Hoofstraat. This is a horrible place. I got here at 5:30 with my daughter to buy a necklace. The security guard wouldn't let us in because the boutique closed at 1800, 6 o'clock. Unbelievable. I've never had such a bad shopping experience in my life. Awful service. The guy wouldn't listen to me and wasn't willing to ask the shop manager to let us in. We even called that day to make sure the necklace is in stock. It's because my daughter really wanted the necklace. We then went to the Dior boutique at the Bijenkorf. That's like a very famous department store in Amsterdam. But otherwise, I would have never purchased anything anymore. I work in Brita. I know what real service is. If you come in one of our stores 5 minutes before closing, we'll let you shop until you're done. Yeah, I mean, again, this is one of those cultural things. We've talked about this, like being culturally nuanced and being very clear and understanding like the way these brands are, particularly in Europe, they really dislike it when you turn up like 30 minutes before closing. And I have found that they're very cold to you, no matter, even if you're spending quite a bit of money, because I think that the SAs just want to go home. And it's not like necessarily making excuses for it, but I would suggest if you want to have a nice, pleasant shopping experience, do not go to any store. Maybe with exception of the boutiques, so maybe the Place Vendôme, just because they're used to like dealing with people who are going to spend a ton of money, or unless you're going to spend like a massive sum of cash. But don't go like an hour before closing because it's not a pleasant shopping experience. Or if you're going an hour before closing, I think just be realistic. They really, really, really dislike when people come, that when people are just not like, when people are basically turning up and it's like 30 minutes before closing, it's something they dislike. The next one is the Van Cleef and Arpels flagship store in Paris, France, at the Place Vendôme. An SA who was referred to as a manager interacted with us while sitting back with her legs crossed and looking at her phone the whole time. She claimed there was no stock for anything below 8,000 euros and offered no other suggestions. I don't recommend going here. Yeah, I mean, you know, this is VCA's home store. This is the original boutique that was opened by the Van Cleef and Arpels family, because you know, like the origin story of the brand is that they were in-laws, and through marriage, like that's how the families combined. So it's like, you know, this store is like the top dog store, you know, for Van Cleef and Arpels fans. I'm not that familiar with the brand. On my next trip this summer, I will pass by this store and have a look around. I know many of you like Van Cleef. I have no problem going there, learning more about them. I like their watches, and I like the frivole between the fingers line. That's the line that I like the most there. So I would definitely pass by and have a look around. Of course, being told that we don't have anything in stock below 8,000 euros, that is not nice. And that's not to say that, like, obviously being told by someone like, oh, we don't have anything below 8,000 euros, that's really presumptive. And you're making presumptions on people's ability to spend, which isn't nice. This has happened to me before, you guys, so don't think that I'm like siding with the brand because I think the brand is right. This has happened to me before where it's like, oh, you might like this, and it's like the affordable thing. It's like, well, why don't you show me the thing I actually like? Because you don't know if someone is going to pull the trigger on it or not. You know, that's happened as well. But I don't think that SA should say, like, I don't think the SA should be so specific and say, like, hey, I think, you know, we don't have anything below 8,000 because what you're telling the person is you don't have any money. And that's what you're saying. That's a bit much. No, I don't agree with that. The next one is the Van Cleef Arpels flagship in Paris, France, at the Place Vendôme again. Don't come here without an appointment, and the staff is beyond obnoxious. They told me to come back in 30 minutes. I did. He then let in other people ahead of me who just showed up. He told me to try again in 45 minutes. I did, and he let other people in with no appointment. I've never in my life had anyone in any country turn away money. This was a guaranteed sale. Yeah, again, just so unpleasant, very rude, very unpleasant. This is wrong. Like, that is so wrong. And I've said before, I'm not an appointment person, but I think for a location like this, like, you're going to have to make an appointment because there's just too much competition at this particular store. Like I said, it's a flagship store. So everyone who loves VCA is going to be flocking to this particular location. Just make an appointment, you guys, because this place, I think I might just have to make an appointment for the summer trip because I don't have time to waste, particularly with an infant baby. Imagine going there with the baby and they tell you to come back in 30 minutes. I'll be like, you can hold this baby boo-boo for 30 minutes. Or you can let me in the store. Like, make up your mind on what you want to do. I have to say, yeah, no. The next one is Van Cleef & Arpels' neighbor at the Place Vendôme, the Cartier at the Place Vendôme, which is just next door to VCA. This is the worst service I've ever received in a luxury store. It took me time to digest what happened and how we were treated by the SA. We felt like he bullied us for 35 minutes. We came to the Place Vendôme store thinking it was the Cartier flagship to buy wedding rings. It's not. The Rue de la Paix boutique, which is very close by the way, is the flagship. Little did we know what kind of horrific experience we're about to have. First of all, I'm a Cartier customer. I usually shop in my local Cartier. We came to Paris to buy our wedding rings to make this moment more special. The welcome staff were friendly and told us to wait our turn and go upstairs. This is the only staff for them. They were the only people who were doing their jobs in a polite way. It's easy for them because they don't have to sell anything. They just have to be nice to people walking in. When we walked in, we saw the SA. I greeted the man in French, my native language. I asked him if we could switch to English for my partner who doesn't speak French. Right away, the employee started the conversation with an aggressive, "What do you want?" I was thinking, what happened to hello or how can I help you? We already knew that the rings we wanted. The man told us right away, this is not the flagship, so I don't have everything. I asked him if he had the rings we wanted to get, the Love and the Trinity. He said yes, and he told us we could go to the other boutique as he didn't want to bother to sell us anything. No, sorry. He replied yes, but he told us we could go to the other shop as if he didn't want to bother to sell us anything, like his vibe. And the Place Vendôme Cartier is like here, and then Rue de la Paix is like a 5-minute walk away, and the Rue de la Paix is the flagship store for Cartier. We as we waited 15 minutes downstairs, I asked him if we could try those rings in this shop, especially as we were ready to buy on the spot. He replied to us, "If you insist." We came to the shop to buy wedding rings and we would try them if they were in stock. He then asked us our sizes. I gave him my Justin Clou ring so he could check my size. He started to look at my ring first to check to see if it was real, then check my size. Which person in their right mind would go to a Cartier shop wearing a knockoff? People do. I have heard of people turning up to big Cartier was fake. So, I don't know. I don't know if she can prove that he was authenticating it. And as far as I'm aware, Cartier employees are not allowed to authenticate. That Cartier don't authenticate like your collection. It should have been an easy sale. We knew already which rings we wanted, and when we tried them, the guy was uninterested. It looked like we were bothering him by being there and wanting to buy something. I asked to try a size up, to which the employee replied several times in an annoyed way, in French, like "No, c'est la bonne taille, madame." Like, no, this is the correct size, because she said she wanted to size up. "No, c'est la bonne taille." No, madame, this is the correct size. I asked several times if I could still try the size up, to which he said, "If you insist." When he came back with the other size, when we were happy with how it looks on fingers, my partner asked how much was the ring, to which he said the price. When my partner replied with "Oh, it's cheaper than I thought," suddenly the aggressive and unfriendly attitude of this person changed. He left the table, came back a few minutes later with a fake smile saying, "By the way, congrats on your engagement. We were with this guy for 30 minutes and not for 1 second was he interested in wanting to buy rings. He never smiled. When we said thank you, he asked us if we wanted champagne. Taken aback by his behavior, we agreed. We already decided not to buy the rings from this person after he threw us another aggressive comment. Suddenly he says to us, So who pays? When my partner said he wanted to sleep on it for a night, the guy got even more aggressive and almost shouted at us, "We could buy them online, no need to go to a shop." We were shocked. We decided to leave. He told us we could still have the champagne, to which we politely declined. In the end, we bought our rings in the Cartier store where we live. To an SA treated us not like humans, gave us the shopping experience. To the man, if he's reading this, 1 minute of fake friendly behavior doesn't make up for 35 minutes of aggressive, unfriendly behavior. People aren't as stupid as you think. I mean, no, baby, I don't agree with you. As she says here, politeness should be free. Your boyfriend should not be in a luxury store saying that Cartier's wedding rings are cheaper than he thinks. Then the SA pulled his card. So couldn't have been my husband, honey. Okay, because the SA pulled his card. The SA was like, so basically you're saying the Cartier stuff is cheap. That's what you're saying. Okay, there's this thing called your inside voice. Sometimes use your inside voice. Not every single thing needs to be said. When her boyfriend was like, "Oh, how much is it?" And then he's told the price, because obviously it's in euros and you get the refund. "Oh, it's cheaper than I thought." That isn't really giving like a cool vibe, I think, to the SA, because people are proud of their jobs and people love working for these brands. If someone's working for a luxury house, they're proud of their work. So you're saying that the place is cheap. I think that the wedding bands are like 1,000 euros, maybe even 900 euros a pop. So I have to say, I mean, like, on the first hand, he's speaking in another language. Even when I'm speaking in French, I definitely think things through, maybe a little bit more, and I'm much more measured when I'm speaking French. If I'm speaking to a French person, I think about what I'm saying more. So there are some cultural nuances there. There was some miscommunications with the sizing. He told her first the size was fine in French, but she keeps insisting that she wants to try another size. So he's like, "If you insist." I mean, I don't really see what the big deal is with that. It does kind of put this kind of chill in the air. Imagine you are at Hermes, right, and you're being offered a quota bag, and you ask the SA, like, "How much is this?" And the SA is like, it's 9,000 euros, and then your husband or boyfriend's like, "Oh, that's cheaper than I thought." I mean, you're basically saying that the stuff is cheap. Like, no luxury brand wants their customers to think their stuff is cheap. Your man should have used his inside voice, and better yet, tell your man, don't say that in no luxury store. You're defending your man, honey, because that's your fiance, as I expect you to. But once your man basically low-key said Cartier is cheap, which it's not, Cartier is not cheap, then the SA decided he's going to drag you. That's what he decided. And then that's when I think he realized that they were annoying and they probably weren't going to buy anything. If you notice in her review, she keeps saying, we were going to buy. I don't know. I find in my experience of doing these dragon reviews, the people who talk the most about buying were the people who really wanted to be angry about something so they can leave the store and not buy anything. And then in the end, you bought the rings at your local store. So why make a big deal about buying it in Paris anyway? Why? No. I'm on the SA side here. SA could have been a little bit nicer in the beginning, but you don't need to make it this long drawn out thing about sizes. And then your fiance is like, "Oh, it's cheaper than I thought." And then when he's asked, like, "Hey, okay, so are you gonna buy it? So who's paying?" Then your partner then says he wants to sleep on it. I thought you said it was cheap. Hello, I thought you said it was cheaper than you thought. Now you want to sleep on it. You guys are not buying anything today. So yeah, I could see, honestly, I'm frustrated for the person working there, because if that was me working there, I'd be like, these people are just here feeling good about themselves, but they have zero intention of buying. And maybe they just went to the boutiques to try the rings on and then to buy it at their local store. I can see how that can be super frustrating. This reminds me of something that I saw, like an SA who works at a department store in America post on Instagram. It was a really interesting thing. It was like the person is like a luxury personal shopper but in a department store, and was saying that sometimes people will like approach this personal shopper and be like, "Hey, can you buy this for me? But I want my SA to get the credit." It's like, well, no, I need the credit because I work here. So it's possible that they just wanted to go in there and, look around and feel like they're going to buy something from the Paris Cartiers, but they had zero intention of doing that. Because your man said, "Oh, it's cheaper than I thought." Then when the SA is like, "Okay, who's paying?" Then your man's like, "Oh, I think I'm going to sleep on it." So basically you guys weren't going to buy anything. You weren't going to buy anything. I'm old school. I'm glad that my now husband didn't involve me in engagement ring shopping. I'm glad that he just went and bought something that he thought I would like. I'm a little bit more old fashioned in that regard. But if you want to be with your man, honey, please make sure that your man uses his inside voice and doesn't say things like it's cheaper than I thought. Let me tell you, Cartier's 500,000 US dollar engagement rings, honey, they're not cheap. Frankly, the pave bracelet I'm stalking at Big Cartier, that's 47 bands in euros, isn't cheap. So you need to sit down. I could see how like that would like frustrate the essay. Let me know what you think about all of these dragging reviews. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And really, really make sure you're subscribed. So just click on the subscribe button below. Just do it now so that, yeah, you're subscribed. That's the most important thing. I really hope that you've liked everything that I've been doing so far. I've had a bunch of videos this week. I'm just posting when I have time. So if I have free time in between taking care of my baby or dealing with the childcare providers and stuff, then I'll just try and squeeze in a video here and there. And when I feel inspired, like I saw some of these reviews today, I was like, oh my God, I need to come here and tell you guys about them because they're just so funny. So let me know what you think about everything. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. God bless you guys, and I'll see you very soon in my next video.